All right. Well, let's start off with a big shout out and a happy World Ranger Day to everybody who's tuning in live today. It has been just an incredible start to the day. We have been broadcasting live for 6 hours. We've been on 4 different continents, live in different locations, meeting people from different organizations and rangers from all around the world. It's just been an incredible day, and we still have probably another I'd say 12 to 15 hours to go of live events. It really is a special day. This is the first year we've ever done this festival, and it's off to a great start. And I definitely think it's going to continue. So let's get on to our next event. We're going to spend a little time with the Countryside Management Association, England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So we're heading to the UK, and we're going to catch up with Steve Peach. He, as well as being a board member of the Countryside Management Association, he's also a land management officer for Hampshire County Council. So let's bring Steve in here to say hello. There he is. Hey, Steve, how are you?
Hi there. Apologies for my slightly sweaty appearance. I'm in the middle of moving my daughter's flat at the moment, so I'd normally be a little tidier than this. But yeah, happy World Ranger Day for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And no worries at all. It's good to stay active. So yeah, excellent. Good stuff, Steve. Well, it's so great to see you. And, I think this is such a valuable part of the program today because, I think when someone first thinks Ranger, I don't know if the UK would be the first place to come to their mind.
No, I kind of get that. Although I should point out that the word Ranger is an old medieval English word. So it shouldn't be a surprise that the Rangers, but no, the UK has amazing countryside. We might not have what people would think of as wilderness, but we have amazing range of habitats. And of course, 65 million people crowded into a very small island or a couple of islands. So the work that we do is mostly on sort of semi-natural habitats, but it's quite intensive. We tend to work on very small sites with very high visitor numbers. So yeah, it's having said that, I've been fortunate in traveling around the world and meeting other rangers, and generally when you sit down and have a beer with a ranger from Africa or South America, we tend to talk about the same issues, about the kind of the conflicts between people and wildlife and the kind of resources that you have and the training. So yeah, it doesn't matter where you are on the world, rangers all have the same issues.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's great, Steve. Well, look, Steve, we've got an exciting lineup. I know we're going to get to meet a few of those Rangers. I know you have some members of your team standing by. So what do you say? Should I load up this PowerPoint so we can get to know the Countryside Management Association a little better?
Yeah, that would be a great start. Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Here we go. Just give me a moment here to share my screen. There we go. I'm going to do my whole screen because that usually gives a nicer share here. All right, so you should see the PowerPoint come up. I'm going to take it full screen, and then we're going to let your voice take over.
The Countryside Management Association, 55 years of representing rangers. The Countryside Management Association, or CMA, supports the work of rangers, countryside managers, urban green space managers and volunteers throughout England, Wales and Northern Ireland. Formed in 1966 as the Association of Countryside Rangers, it has provided networking and professional development opportunities for generations of rangers. The Countryside Management Association runs local study days, training events and national conferences. It encourages the ongoing career development of its members through its professional accreditation system. We publish Ranger magazine and regional newsletters. And we seek to influence current and future environmental management policy. And we want to ensure that the voice of those working on frontline conservation and access management is heard. The CMA, along with the Scottish Countryside Rangers Association and the US Association of National Park Rangers, were founder members of the International Ranger Federation. This World Ranger Day, as well as remembering all colleagues and friends from around the world who have been killed or injured. The CMA wants to celebrate the hard work and resilience of our members who worked tirelessly during COVID to ensure the protection of the sites in our care and continue to provide people with the health and wellbeing spaces they need at this most difficult of times. The term ranger can be traced back over 600 years to medieval England, but we suspect the next 60 years will be the most important for rangers, as we are no longer simple protectors of royal hunting forests, but we've become the vital guardians of the Earth's health and well-being. So thank you to all rangers, wardens and park guards. Whatever you're called, your work is vital and important. And if you are watching this and you are a ranger, please join your local ranger association. We are all stronger together. And hey, have a great World Ranger Day.
All right, let's come back from that screen share there. That was brilliant, Steve. Thanks for putting that together.
It's very strange when you hear your own voice played back to you. I'm sure that.
Yeah, it never sounds quite right. It never quite sounds like it's you. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Steve, it looks like you do, like you were mentioning before, there's a wide variety of work. There's lots of people on the ground, challenging and, varying ecosystems. So it definitely looks like there's a vibrant ranger community with CMA.
There is. CMA is the kind of really the only organisation that in Wales, Northern Ireland, England that represents rangers. Those guys and girls who work in the field. So yeah, it's a pretty important organisation. And during the last 18 months of COVID, it's been really important for that sort of social and networking side as well. I just think ranger associations, wherever they are in the world, are so important.
Yeah, absolutely. No question. All right, Steve. Well, I'm going to let you kind of take the reins here. And what would you like to do next? I know we have a few videos to share. I know we have some colleagues. So where should we go next, Steve?
So I was going to introduce our colleagues. That would be quite good.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me start bringing some of them in.
Hi. We have Linda. I'll let Linda introduce herself.
Oh, thanks, Steve. I'm Linda Nunn, Chairman of Countryside Management Association. So I'm on the board along with Steve.
All right. Great to have you join us today, Linda.
Great to be here.
Hello, I'm Chloe Babrook. I'm a ranger for the National Plan at Nyman's in West Sussex in the UK, and I'm also the international coordinator for the Countryside Management Association.
All right, excellent. And then, Steve, is there anybody else in the room?
Okay, I don't know if you can see behind me. We've actually got a stall here today.
Oh yeah, very cool. Yeah, outside enjoying the little bit of the weather. And it looks like
we're inviting people to come and talk to a ranger for the day.
Very, very cool. And it looks like Toby's trying to join. Let's see if it looks like it might be getting the spinning wheel. We might not be successful. Maybe the signal's not so good where Toby is.
Yeah, I think Toby's trying to join live from Northern Ireland.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to keep my eye out on his screen and see if it changes from white to a picture. But Toby, if you can hear and see us, type me a message in the chat and say hi. All right. Well, Steve, looks like you've got a great team joining us. Linda, where are you today?
I'm on the border of Dorset and Wiltshire. They're two counties in the south of England. Steve said rangers aren't protectors of the old ancient royal hunting forests anymore. Well, funnily enough, the protected area that I work in is exactly that. It's an ancient royal hunting forest, but it's obviously got modern day overtones now. It's about 1,000 square kilometers, 5 IUCN protected area, and we basically, we pretty much, if there's anything to do with life, we have something to do with it. So it's conservation, protection of natural resources, it's visitor management, it's access, planning. It's the whole gamut of everything. So we keep pretty busy here.
All right, fair enough. And Toby is typing in the chat. He can hear and see us okay. So Toby, give us a big shout out, and we'll be sure to introduce you the best way we can. But I think the signal might be, like you're saying, a little bit iffy today. All right. Well, Steve, I think we should share the first video and get to know a few of the rangers out in the field who sent us in videos.
Yeah, that would be cool, and that will include Toby, so you'll all get to see him now.
Perfect. So I'm going to temporarily tuck everybody backstage just because we'll get better sound, but I'll bring everybody back in once the video completes. So here we go.
Hey, my name is Toby. I am an area ranger for National Trust, which is a non-governmental organisation charity here in the UK. I'm based in Northern Ireland at a property called Mount Stewart. It's a 1,000-acre historic domain with historic house gardens, but obviously a big expanse of open parkland. About 60% of it's woodland, and then the rest is in a working farmland landscape where we are basically working towards restoring sustainable and regenerative farming models along with our tenant farmers. So much of my job on a day-to-day basis is obviously looking after the wider woodlands and working with our tenant farmers, but also helping visitors connect with the area. So we only have, relatively speaking from a global perspective, quite a small visitor contingent of about 250, 260,000 visitors a year. But we're here just on the shores of Strangford Lough, which is a triple SI, ASSI location, special area conservation, and part of an AONB, which is an area of outstanding natural beauty. So there's quite a few designations right on our doorstep. It's a beautiful location to be working. It's one of a number I've worked in over the years, and we're just developing a new team here, and we're going to be working through restoring a lot of the woodland conditions over the coming years, working with our priority species within Northern Ireland, which is the pine marten and red squirrel in particular, as well as a lot of insects and other sort of sensitive beasties that are out and about on the ground there, and obviously helping visitors connect with that landscape.
Hi there, my name's Ian Brooker. I work for the National Park Ranger for Dartmoor National Park, which is in the southwest of England. I've worked here for the last 31 years, which probably accounts for some of the grey hair on my head, but it's wonderful to actually be part of a most incredible site in the southwest of England, and I thoroughly enjoy doing what I do as a ranger. You can just make out the logo here on the side of my t-shirt with the pony, which is our logo for the national park area. Now, for most of you, it's unusual that we have 35,500 people living in the national park, very different to some of the national parks in other parts of the world. So very much my job is interacting with all those various people that want to do their own thing. It's a multi-use landscape. So our role is very much trying to reconcile some of the conflicts that can take place with that use, and trying to work with people to reconcile differences. We've got lots of farmers here, got lots of people that want to come out here and enjoy the area, whether it be walking, cycling, horse riding, you name it, they want to do it. And it does cause us a few headaches. Certainly after the last year with the COVID period, the pandemic, and then the opening up of the moor, we've been totally inundated with people and causing us a lot of headaches, especially with litter being left on the moor, fly camping as we call it, just people turning up, putting tents up, open fires, you name it. So we've certainly been busy. But yeah, it's a wonderful part of the world, and I'm thoroughly enjoying here, and I say hopefully I'll enjoy a few more years here. What I also enjoy is very much being part of a family of rangers across the world. And I have a real privilege in meeting so many rangers from different parts of the world and interacting with them and learning about the work that they do. And I hope that's something that we can continue with in future years. So great to be part of this World Ranger Day celebration, and good luck to everyone. Catch up soon. Cheers now.
Happy World Ranger Day from a suitably damp Lake District at the foot of Latterborough. I hope wherever you are, you have a good day and carry on the good work. Happy Ranger Day.
Hi there, I'm Tom Heenan and I'm a ranger here at Bellis Woods Country Park in Essex. I love being a ranger because the role is so varied. And I love the park here because it has such a wide variety of habitats. Some of our key issues are balancing the needs of the wildlife and some of our climate aims with the needs of our visitors and some of the challenge that comes with that visitor pressure. On the other hand, some of my best experiences have been working with people, whether it's working with our volunteers to manage the park, or whether it's sharing my knowledge and my passion with visitors.
Bellis Woods Country Park is fairly small compared to some of the other green spaces in this country. It stands at 320 acres, but it contains a mix of habitats. The woodlands are important, including the coppice woodland you can see here. They support a wide number of wildflowers, such as these bluebells. But we also have grasslands here, including this rough grassland full of oxeye daisies. And we also have a lot of water on site, including 5 gravel pit lakes.
My name's Charlotte and I'm a ranger for the National Trust in Kent. I wanted to become a ranger because I care about our environment. I wanted to be able to look after different habitats, different wildlife, different species of flora and fauna that we have here, and be able to spend my days doing something that I'm actually really passionate about, that I really care about. No day is a chore, every day is just an absolute joy to be able to come out here no matter the weather and be able to spend my time doing something that I really love, and also have the opportunity to share that passion and enthusiasm with members of the public to hopefully get more people interested in saving our nature, saving our environment, and caring for what we have.
Hi, my name's Steve Peach. I've been a ranger, or certainly in the ranger business, for about 40 years. I've worked in parks, nature reserves, but for this little video I thought I'd show you this country park, which is a place called Staunton Country Park. This is my third take because I've been interrupted several times with people trying to find out what I'm doing. And that just shows that this park is a very people-centric park. But it's actually a historic parkland landscape that is also a semi-natural woodland. I'll just show you some of that parkland. It's an amazing place, and what you can't tell from this video is that a few hundred meters over my right shoulder off that way is a huge housing estate. So it's an amazing resource for people right on their doorstep. And during COVID, it's been really important for people. It's been a place for people to find some refuge and recharge the batteries as we all sort of deal with the terrible pandemic. When I was young, in my 13th, 14th, it was places like this that I escaped to. This was my wilderness. This was my refuge. And although I could watch programs on television about the Serengeti and the kind of great national parks of the world, for me, this was wilderness. And I still kind of get an amazing buzz from the fact that after 40 years, I still get paid to do this job. I still get paid to be a ranger. And the biggest buzz is showing people around sites like this and seeing people who perhaps not realise what's around them and the kind of true value of sites like this. And it's that amazing situation where you're discussing things with people, showing them maybe some butterflies, maybe the wildflowers, or just the form of some of these trees, and you can see the kind of the discovery on their faces. So we kind of get to relive that sense of discovery on a regular basis. It's just a cool job. I became a ranger because the desire to protect wildlife and protect wonderful places like this, but also because was kind of very keen that more people kind of saw what I saw and kind of understood what I understood about the importance of places like this. And I think for some rangers, for some of us, that becomes the main driving force behind why we're involved in this business, why we do it. It's so important that we kind of infuse people and get other people to recognise the value of amazing places like this. So this is the end of our little tour around Staunton Country Park. I hope it's given you a taste of some of the multitude of landscapes that we work on in the UK, and it just remains for me to say, have a great World Ranger Day.
All right, so let's bring everybody back in here. There's Steve, Linda. Oh, Chloe might be frozen. There we go. All right. Well, wow, what a great.
I keep getting thrown out, so I might just.
I was going to say, what a great little trip around the countryside. Thanks so much for putting that together to share with us and let us meet so many different rangers, so many of your colleagues.
Yeah, and that's just a sample of the habitats and the kind of the landscape that we have in the UK. It's so diverse.
Yeah. Chloe, can you hear us? I think Chloe's signal might be not cooperating. Can you hear us, Chloe? Maybe not. Well, hopefully her signal clears up a little bit so we can talk to her outside in the booth. No.
First world country, third world internet.
You know, you never know what you never know what technology is going to do. I'm just going to send her a little message to try and exit and come back in. Sometimes that can clear it up. There we go. Okay, let's see if she gets that message and gives that a go. So, yeah, I mean, you know, we just saw that video. We just saw kind of that varying kind of look at the life and the work of some rangers. So, you know, I'd love to hear, you know, your thoughts after seeing that, and anything you'd like to add to what the rangers had to say today.
Yeah, and I think the thing I should point out is that there's we could have been that video could have lasted an hour if you started showing mountains, moorland, coastal areas. You know, the UK is hugely diverse, and as I say, it might surprise people to realise that we do have so many rangers, and that we do have some amazing places. The other thing I would shout out about is some of our urban green spaces as well. For a lot of people, the kind of urban countryside is hugely important. And in some of our major cities, they're doing incredible projects, bringing wildlife back to those cities, and creating a resource that where wildlife can thrive in the middle of the sort of urban conurbation. So you've got places like London with their kind of city national park concept. If you go to somewhere like Birmingham, sort of UK, or certainly England's second city, again, they have amazing parks and open spaces there. So it truly is diverse. And I think that the hallmark of a UK ranger is kind of flexibility and adaptability. I think that's what we're very strong at.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know we've got Chloe back, and she typed in, she's kind of getting hit and miss. So maybe the outside signal just isn't cooperating with us anymore. But I think that's the adventure of being out in the field, right? You never know what your technology is going to do.
No. And I should say that there's Chloe, there's also Tom and Toby, and a lot of these guys are actually out doing World Ranger Day events as we speak. So they're highlighting the kind of plight of rangers around the world. So they're kind of doing good work today.
Absolutely. I saw Tom pop in during the video, but then he disappeared. So I wonder if maybe being out and about, his signal wasn't as strong as it could have been.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, if they're out in the public and interacting and sharing what they do, I think that's a pretty darn reason to be out without signal.
Yeah, it is. And The special thing about this day, it's a chance to get out there and kind of interact with the communities that are on our doorstep and get them thinking about rangers and just how important rangers are. I mean, I think during the pandemic, we've heard a lot about health workers and how important they are, and of course they are. But, park rangers, field operatives, whatever you want to call them, all the way through the pandemic, we've all been carrying on working, we've all been maintaining those open spaces. And I think for a lot of people, certainly in developed countries like the UK, that to go out and visit your local green space has kept people sane. And so it's a great year to try and push the importance of rangers.
Yeah, absolutely. No question. And what I think is exciting about this connection too is, we've been moving around today, and this is our 5th continent. So really meeting rangers from all across the planet. So that's really exciting.
It is, and I mean, Linda will tell you more, but the CMA has quite a history in terms of being involved with other ranger organisations around the world with twinning arrangements, and I think we're quite proud of the fact that we've been instrumental in the development of the IRF. But I'll let Linda speak, otherwise it will just be me talking.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to give a quick shout out, if I may, on that subject to Gordon Miller. Many of the rangers who will be watching will know Gordon. He's kind of ranger guru to many. Many years ago, he and colleagues got together and basically started what is now the Countryside Management Association. And he, alongside the Scottish Countryside Ranger Association and the Association of National Park Rangers in America, obviously were those that started the IRF. So Gordon Miller really is quite an inspirational gentleman, and CMA are proud to have him as our honorary president. So if you're watching, Gordon, happy World Rangers Day. This is all down to you. And hope to see you soon. I don't know if you want to try and talk to Chloe.
Yeah, I know Chloe's having trouble hearing.
Know if you can hear me.
Yeah.
I'll just say Happy World Ranger Day and leave it at that, because I'm going in and out.
Yeah, we can hear you really well. I know you can't hear us very well, but you're really clear. Yeah.
But if you can hear me, I was just explaining, we've got a stall here today, so we're inviting all the visitors. So we've got children coming up to talk to us about being a ranger and hear about the work that we do. We've got a sort of totem pole that children are drawing pictures on of wildlife. We've had an amazing koala bear and a butterfly painted this morning so far.
So I just tried.
What age? So it's anybody that's coming up, really. So we've got doors so people can come, and we've got the videos on loop so people can see the videos, and we've got various photos around. We've got some lovely paintings of animals around the world, and we're showing off some of our equipment. So we've got an electric bike that we're using to try and cut down on diesel. We've also got our diesel four-wheel drive to show, and a logging arch that we use to take timber out sensitively from the woodland as talking points.
All right, very cool. Steve, I wonder, you mentioned twinning with other parks briefly. Do you want to touch on that a little bit? And then maybe we can, I know we have one more video to share from your Scottish colleagues.
Yeah, I think there's been quite a long tradition of both as an organisation but also individuals getting involved in twinning arrangements and ranger exchanges around the world. So I know, for instance, Ian Brooker, who was one of the participants in the little video that you've just seen, he spent some time in, I think it was Australia, wasn't it? I know people have done exchanges to Canada. I know Linda works very closely, obviously in her role as with the IRF, but also personally in the Congo. I've been doing some ranger exchanges in Uganda. CMA is working very closely with at the moment with Georgia and developing links there. So I just think that we have so much to learn from each other. And and particularly when we focus on our similarities rather than our differences. But I think wherever you are around the world, if you can buddy up with another association, there's a huge amount to learn and benefit from.
Yeah, no question. It's funny you mentioned Georgia. I just yesterday pre-recorded an event with a few rangers in Georgia, and I'm going to play it later in the festival. So, yeah, that's great. It's great. I'd love to hear about that collaboration. You know, sharing of knowledge, exchanges. It really is a great community, and everybody seems really supportive of everybody else.
I think it's particularly important for emerging ranger associations, but also people perhaps who work in more remote areas to know that that they're connected to something much bigger. And you know, sometimes some countries that they may be employed by the state, they may be struggling with that state in terms of policy and procedures. But most rangers I know have a strong ethic around conservation, and it's good that even if they are battling within their own country, within their own organisations they're working for, that they can belong to something and realise that there's a lot of us around the world that are all for them and therefore them.
All right. Well, let's take a look at our last video clip for the day. So I'm going to tuck everybody backstage again so we get a nice sound without too much echo. So here we go.
Welcome to another episode of Jim Gets a Job for the Day. You join me at a national nature reserve at St Cyrus near Montrose, where I'll be working as a countryside ranger. Hey! Put that fire out! Hey! Pick up the dog poo! Pick up the dog poo, please! Morning, Luke.
Morning, Jim. I see you made it.
Yes, absolutely. I wouldn't miss this for the world. I've been dying to ask you, is your job as a countryside ranger just really preventing bears from stealing picnics?
Not quite, Jim. I suppose we get that quite a lot, but at a place like this and in Scotland, we don't get bears.
Is it just a case of telling folk to pick up litter and telling wild campers to clear off?
Well, I mean, there is an aspect of that, I suppose, but I feel for us, it's all about how we engage with people. So it's coming to a site like this and really getting them to appreciate the site by showing them the wildlife and why the area is so important to them locally.
I think I've maybe misjudged this whole job then. Feel a bit of plonker now with these...
I didn't quite expect you showing up like this, Jim, I must admit.
No, okay.
Oh, Jim, sorry, just watch where you step there.
All right. Oh, purple flower.
Indeed, so that's what we're going to be looking at today. So
lovely.
With the tablet and the GPS, the idea of this is we're going to be recording some of our flowers on the sand dune here. The idea of that fits into the management plan. So the idea is we have a variety of locally rare plant species here, made in pink, catchfly, and they're really important to the other animals like insects and butterflies. Something we've got over 400 of here, which is, for a site like this, is just incredible.
So what am I holding here then?
So that is your GPS. So what that enables you to do is pinpoint exactly where this flower that we're going to be looking at is on the map.
Okay. I guess, are you using this then as a kind of barometer for climate change? To show how different temperatures are affecting different species then?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll be monitoring the population of species, if it's on the decline or if it's on the increase, and then management plans will be put in place for that. So as part of a lot of our management plans for grasslands nowadays, we're actually introducing grazing again. So bringing in cattle and sheep to do the work for us rather than using motors and machines allows for a much better job at the end of the day, and you get a lot more variety and biodiversity coming up afterward. So Jim, this is, as you can see, one of the main ways to the beach. Mm-hmm. So we get a lot of people coming through here on a day-to-day basis. So as part of, I suppose, our job is just being out there and having an on-site presence as much as possible. So with our patrols, as you saw earlier, we are looking out for people that are perhaps having fires and camping, and just telling them a bit more about the site and the maintenance of things like this. So making sure that the boardwalk's in safe condition for people with wheelchairs and dog walkers to get through onto the beach, because we want everyone to be welcome to it. Volunteering and volunteers that work alongside us have a huge impact on the work that we can get done. So beautiful boardwalks and bridges like this, we can set up volunteer sessions to put down the gripper plate and repair any missing panels that's needed. So yeah, it's really important for us as rangers.
And I've got to say, you've opened my eyes up to what the role of a countryside ranger is all about. I just thought it was a case of you sitting, eating some sandwiches and looking at some rare birds.
Not at all, Jim. No, it's been a pleasure. I mean, it's days like this that we've spent where normally we'd have kids playing out in the woods and likes of holding education classes on the beach. So it's really those parts of the job that really make it for me.
Absolutely, absolutely. I do have one gripe though. While I was away there, one of your bears has come and pinched one of my sandwiches. I had a coronation chicken sandwich here.
Are you sure you've not just ate it?
No, I think it's one of your sandwich stealing bears.
It could have just been a swan.
Swan, rubbish. No, it's definitely a bear. I could smell it. Yep, I think you've got Boo Boo going about. Boo Boo! Or maybe it's Yogi. Yogi! Yogi! Actually, no, it could be right. It's a swan. Just seen it. It's not a bear, it's a swan! It's a swan! Run! If you would like to know more about how to become a countryside ranger, then get in touch with Lantra today.
Joe, can't hear you.
There we go. Yeah, didn't want to go, but didn't bring it back in time. So, Stephen and Linda, it looks like we might have lost Chloe, but what a great look into the world of countryside rangers.
Yeah, and I want to thank our colleagues in Scotland for letting us show that film. I think it just shows you've got to have a sense of humour. It's really important in this job, and that whole idea of engaging people. I mean, I think it's so important to tell people what we do and kind of get them involved. So this has been really good. Thanks for the opportunity, Joe. It's been great.
Oh no, thank you for being with us today, giving us a little bit of your time on World Ranger Day. Thank you to all your fellow rangers who are out in the field today, interacting with the public and educating, which is such an important role of a ranger, and I think it's overlooked sometimes.
Certainly is. I'd just like to say thank you to you, Joe, because it's amazing to actually see rangers from across the continents, across the globe, and it's that networking, it's seeing what we all do in different places. This is really worthwhile. I don't know if you're talking to anybody from the European Ranger Federation, but that's the federation of all the European associations. So a big hi to them. I hope they've enjoyed seeing what some of our rangers get up to.
All right, we see Chloe. Hi, Chloe, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm back in.
There we go. Well, Chloe, we were just wrapping up the event, and it's nice that we get a chance to say thank you to you for joining us, and thank you for being out in the community today and spreading the word about the work of rangers.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I'll have to look it back on YouTube and see what happened.
All right, fair enough. Well, I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their weekend. And again, thank you so much for being with us today.
That's great. Thanks, Joe. And give our regards to all of our colleagues who join you later in the day.
Will do. Thanks, everyone.
Happy World Ranger Day.
Happy World Ranger.
Happy World Ranger